All right, we're about to get into another project. This is a Fender Strat Squier Affinity from about 1903, I think this is. I have to look it up. But anyway, what we're going to do with this guitar is change the pickguard into a brand new, fully loaded pickguard. And we're going to go with a blue pickguard. This is going to be a very interesting, to me, and an exciting project. So we're going to totally customize this. We're going to add some blue inlays to the fingerboard. We're going to change the string trees up here to some better silver ones. We're going to, like I said, swap the pickguard. We're going to go with some flat wound 10 to 48 strings. I don't know if you can see that with the reflection. Too much reflection. Those are going to go on there, and a few other various sundry changes that we'll make along the way. Okay, so hang on tight. We're going to get going here. First, we'll check out the setup and make sure everything's good. It seems to be very good. The neck seam scrape, I'm going to go over that and check it again. We'll clean up the frets and so forth before we get too carried away with a lot of this. And this is a very nice older Squier, made in Indonesia. Let's see if we can get down here to the head. We'll show you the gritty evidence here. But this is a very nice guitar I got on eBay. I recently put out a guitar to a friend that was very much like this, and I already miss it, so I decided to replace it with another one that's very similar. So this is going to be a bit of a change, a bit of a different with the new improved loaded pickguard. All right, so as we get started, the first thing we're going to do, I already took a sneak peek, is we're going to check the neck for straightness. And there's just a bit of a bow in this, not a back bow, there's just a bit of a bow, which is kind of what you want. But I'm probably going to try to do a little bit of a truss rod adjustment and straighten that neck so that it's perfectly flat. We've got a truss rod wrench right here. That's for the Squier, which is what this is. Now these strings are going to go away, so I'm not too worried about damaging them. So if we do a righty-tighty, that's loosey. This is just slightly engaged. So if I give it another little quarter turn, that should get us someplace, I think. Let's take another look. Wrong side. Let's try the correct side and see where we are now. That just helped a little bit. I think we'll give it another little flick. And we'll see if we can't get the neck straight. Because Dave, from Dave's World of Fun Stuff, tells me that that's where you start, is with a straight neck. Now, if everything in the world is correct, that should put us there, I think. How do we do? Oh yeah, the truss rod works. And we do have a very straight neck now. So that's what we wanted. So the next thing we'll do, I think, is we'll pull the strings off and get to work up here in the head and do a few things, simple things first. And then we're going to pull the, we're going to take the back cover off because we've got to disconnect. Oh, this project requires soldering skills. which I'm not wicked good at, but there's only a little bit of soldering to change the whole pickguard. It's not like you're just changing a part, so that's really simple. So we got to remove the back cover, disconnect the wire, the ground wire that'll be there, because there'll be another one that'll go on there from the new pickguard. We'll replace that, and then we'll have to resolder the connection here in the what do you call it? The connector for the amplifier, the jack wires will have to be changed, and that should be all. The rest of that should all just come out as one piece, and it should be that simple. So stand by, and we'll start taking the strings down, and I know you know how exciting that all can be. So let's do that first. We'll disconnect all the strings and take them off, and I'll be back to you in a minute. Anyway, I'll finish getting these off. Okay, so we took all the strings off, and there was a CE sticker on here. I took that off. I hate those things. I'm not even sure what that's all about. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to open up the back cover and see how this is set up. We'll take a look, because this is a whammy bar kind of a deal, and I don't know if this has been set up as a no whammy kind of a deal or not, but I don't use a whammy bar generally. It's no big deal at all. It just looks like it was played, that's all. You know, that's what you do with a guitarist playing, I hope. So let's take these screws out, and we'll all get together and take a look at the back. This is our first time seeing it. Now we can maybe get this screw out with a little bit of pressure. A little hydro lift. Oh, and they did it upright anyway, so that's good. A lot of times you see people angle the springs in, and they really shouldn't be. They should be set up just like that. So whoever did this, set this up, they set it up right. Now here's the ground wire that we're going to have to change. So I'm going to have to unsolder that to release that to be able to come through. I'll wait and do that after I take the rest of it apart. Be sure there's no surprises, okay? So we'll flip this over, and I think the next thing we'll do, maybe we'll get into the pickguard right away. Yeah, why not? What the hell we got to lose? Nothing. So let's take this down. It's a great reveal. Let's pull it up and see what we got under here. The wires are tight. It's snug under there. Let's see if we can get it up and take a look. Alright, so there's the ground wire going out back. Oh, and it's one of these double wires that's going out to the tuner. I don't know if you can you see this? It's got really small pods, you know, with just the basic shielding that they used to do in the olden days, that they still do now, as a matter of fact. But I think we should get a pretty good improvement over what we've got here now. So the next thing we've got to do is we've got to open up this guy so we can get to those wires to disconnect that. And I should take a look at the new one. This is about the 4th total pickguard changeover I've done in my apprentice luthier career over the last few years. So I've got a little bit of experience doing this. Yeah, see how this is set up? It's, you know, like one wire coming through, and there's a ground. I think I'm going to nip those right there so I know which one is which. I can never remember which way that's supposed to go, but I'll leave a tail on here. But the first thing I want to do is take a look at the new pickguard before I get too carried away, and make sure I'm talking apples and apples. Should be the same. There's the new one. Rocker Guitars, made in USA. Rockin' Guitar at charter.net. quality is our business, it says. All the pods are marked. I mean, all the pickups are marked, and these are much bigger. Looks like they got orange drops and stuff already installed on here. And here's the wires that we have to deal with to connect this up. See if I can untangle this mess without screwing it up. Alright, so I got a ground, and the white is the blacks are the ground, and the white is the hot wire. And these are fabric coated wires, so they look pretty good. So we got to take one of the grounds, and that's going to go to the back that we have to disconnect, and then the other two are going to run out here to the pickup, to the jack, and that'll be out there. So the next thing we just got to maybe take a look at is to see how well this is going to fit. It looks like it's an identical match. This should go just fine. So let's boldly go and move forward here. Now, like I said, I want to leave this pickguard intact that I'm taking out, because you never know, maybe it'll get used on something else. And I'm going to disconnect these wires and leave the tag in there, you know, leave an end on the wire so I can see it like a tag to show me which one goes where. Because electronics is not my department. I think this is really a nice way to do this kind of thing. And I'll leave a little tail on the end of this. There, so that's free now. We'll be able to pull that out. And then I got to go around back and unsolder that back wire. I haven't even plugged the soldering iron in yet, so we got to do that next and get it hot. Stand by. We're back. We got the soldering iron on, and I got a plate there that I found to use as a base so that I won't burn anything. Last time I soldered, I actually burned the soldering plastic holder that holds the the solder in it, and I made an extra hole in it, so it became extra holy. So the first thing we're going to do is strip these wires down with our cute little wire stripper. Got a lot of reflection here now, all the silver stuff. So we're going to take just a bit off. Am I in the camera? I think so, yeah. So as long as I stay over this stuff, I'll be there. So we give that a little pull. That should get rid of the wire. I mean the coating. And the rest of that should slide down out of the way. We'll be able to tin this. Well, I think you can slide this back. So I got to decide. I think I'll keep those two guys together to go down to the pickup jack, the jack, not the pickup. Yeah, see, that'll slide right back and open up a place for the solder to go, because this kind of cloth stuff will move a little bit. And then we can take and put some solder and tin these out. Wish I had done that with the other one. Now I got this fringe around the edge. See if we can cut that out of the way. It doesn't interfere with our soldering. And like I said, I have not zero, I got a little bit of experience soldering, but only since I've been doing this. And it always rattles my cage to do this kind of stuff. So we'll try to protect this, and then the next thing we'll do is try to see if this is hot yet. Oh, it is, good. So we'll get a little bit of solder on the end of the soldering iron. And then we'll see if we can't tin these wires to get them ready to take solder. They work better if you got some solder on them. They're going to have a little bit more solder to the end of this, so that I can tin those wires correctly. Some more on there. That one looks pretty good now. Got a little bit more on here. I think we want to get it hot. And then we'll get a little bit of solder on this last one. So those are now ready to be soldered to something else. Alright, so that's that. Now I'm going to wind these two guys together because they're going to go out to the jack. Finally I said it right. It's one thing in a row. Alright, then the next thing we've got to do is flip the guitar over, because we've got to unsolder the back so we can release the pickguard. And then we've got to take and unsolder these things too. So first of all, we've got to try to do this without wrecking it. Alright, so let's get that around. Let's get our magic extra light working here. See if that'll show. We'll get another cloth to protect the guitar. Anybody with me? No, you're not even here. Let's see what we can get to the guitar. Alright, so now we're going in here into this thing and get that to let go. So we need the hot soldering iron. We're going to hit this. Oh my God, that came off right away. That was about as simple as it can be. So let's melt this solder down and get it ready to take a new wire when we come back to this side. So that's that. That was about as simple as you could ever expect it would be. It's simpler than I thought. That hot soldering iron makes all the difference in the world. So now if we drop this down, now let's flip it over so we can see what the hell we're doing. Alright, let's flip that over. Let's bring this up. Let's get our magic light in here. Everybody looking? So this is coming out of the back. That came up out of here. This is just loose stuff kicking around. And then we've got the wire coming out of the jack cavity. And that's all there is to it to release that totally pre-wired, not pre-wired, but it's the wired pickguard that was already there. So that's done. We've removed it. Lighter fluid, Rosignol. This is great for cleaning because it evaporates and stuff right away. So while we got everything off and out of the way, we can use a little bit of lighter fluid. We've got to be careful around the open torch there for the soldering iron. We don't want to put any lighter fluid on the soldering iron because that could potentially lead to a disaster. And I don't really feel like meeting with the fire department tonight. We're going to run the wire to the back from here. Where's that hole? I think it's that one there. The guitar wire I cut off before. We'll see how this feeds through like a snake. Make sure we can get through here. There we go. We can use this to kind of clean up a little bit maybe. And open up the side so that it'll stop things from snagging. There we go. I was kind of going in the wrong direction. Alright, that's nice. So we get that wire through. And then we'll take these guys that are going back out to the other cavity. We'll check that. Make sure this goes through open. They're gone. They're in. All right, so that's the hard part, as they say. That's the hardest part. And it looks like they're going to fit down good. And essentially that's the job. We've got to do a little soldering still on this side and on the other side, and that'll be the new pickguard. Pretty good, huh? That's why I say it's simpler than putting in a changing a single part or something, which I really can't do. There's so many wires that go into the parts. This is just a cakewalk. So let's flip this over again, and we'll do a little soldering on the other side, and we'll connect up that wire that's sticking its nose right out there, right onto that piece of hot little solder that's just dying to get back together. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to solder. Try to get this piece to reattach, because it grounds this back part to the guitar. And how's that for a real difficult job? So that's a big piece of that. So while we're here, flipped over, one of the other things we've got to do is see how well this the new back cover is going to fit. So let's try this out. Oh, it's a perfect fit. It's not just a good fit, it's a perfect fit. But I got a push pin over there too. If push comes to shove, I'll push my push pin at it, and there's the second layer. And I think you can see how much shinier and how beautiful this brand new blue pearloid is. You know, that's really nice. Put the magic light on. All right, so now you can see what it's going to look like. Hold on to the new pickguard in all of its electronics. All right, so that's there. So everything fits in really nice. Do these holes line up? Let's see how this lines up. Fairly well. This lines up better on this side than the other one does. So I guess the next thing we could address, we'll put a couple of screws in here, these silver ones, just to hold this in place like we did on the other side. And then we'll solder up the, you know what I'm saying, this thing, the jack. All right, so the next thing we got to do is solder up the jack. We'll do these one at a time. I got to find the white wire. There's the white wire. So we'll cover up here. We'll make a place, and we'll disconnect the current connections and replace them with the new wires, which we've already tinned, and we're ready to go. We'll bring the magic light down so we can see a little better. We'll get a grip on the white wire with the surgical instrument to hold on to it. All right, and we'll put that around that way so we all can see. Now we'll bring in the magic wand, and we'll throw a little heat on here, and that's away, okay? And then we'll add a little bit more solder. We'll tin up the end of this. So it'll be ready to accept the new wire. So we're going to come around and try to bring it on from this angle, just like that. Is that holding good? I think I want to throw a little more solder on there. Shit. Take it again from the top. All right, that looks good now. Now we've got to disconnect this other piece. We'll bring that around from the other side. And disconnect the old grounding wire, I hope. Doesn't seem to want to let go. There it comes. Oh, it's through the eye. That one was well done. There it comes. That one was done right. So, we want to bring this one around the other way. Geez, if we could get it through the eye. Oh, we can. Got it through the eye. If we could bend it a little bit, get it to stay right there, that would be a hell of a job, wouldn't it? Let's do a little more solder on the piece here. I think that's it. Push that over that way. Push that there. I think it looks pretty good. I think it come out pretty good. Nice. Okay, so essentially we're done with adding the new piece in. All we got to do here now is sink this back into the cavity. Should try to actually get rid of some of this wire that's sticking out. I got too much in the jack hole. That's that. There's two different screws. Put these screws back in, and that'll be the end of this part of the job. The next thing we'll do is bring it over to an amplifier and see if it goes bada bada boom. I may hook it up with my wireless and not have to move the guitar from here at all, and we'll make a wireless connection to the amplifier and do tappity tap tap and see what happens. How's that for a plan? Okay, so what we've done is whoops, sorry, didn't mean to shake you up. We've plugged in. We're in the center position, and you can hear the speaker. We're on the wireless. This is working the way it's supposed to. it's got a switch that you can switch back and forth to add a pickup. I don't even know how the heck this works, but there's nothing there. That's the middle. You go all the way forward, you got that. This should be dead, and I think if we throw the switch, no, it's still dead. Okay, I think if you go in the middle, you get both. Still get both. So I don't know what the hell the switch does, but all three are working the way they're supposed to. Oh, that's an off-on switch for the extra pickup. Then if we go back, we got there, we got that, and that's dead. Oh, and it's an off-on switch to add this pickup back in, evidently, no matter what position it's in. That's all dead. So now you can have this pickup and this pickup run together. Different. Pretty cool. I'm not sure what the heck that does for you, but it all works perfect. The soldering has worked well. We did another wonderful example of soldering. Yippee! Another great stride. So I can turn the soldering iron off now because we're done soldering. All we got to do is some of the final stuff. But essentially this project is done. That's what we set out to do, was to add the new pickguard. Now we just got to go through and do a basic setup and change a few little things that we wanted to. Do the fingerboard with the inlays. What else am I going to do? We're going to go to black screws. We're going to get some toothpicks and fill in some of the holes that need it. And that's it. Oh, we got to re-drill some holes in the back. So that lines up the way I need it to. But this project is going wicked good. So we'll be back in a minute. So let's go ahead and finish up top here where we were. I just tightened up all of these. They weren't really loose. I just snugged them. And like I said, I'm going to replace the string trees. And then we'll hit it with some black magic marker. Or we could leave it silver and do the ebony and ivory thing. That's good. Now if I can get the other screw out, groove the same as we did the other one, and that'll be one quick easy peasy. It's one part already done. The next thing I think we'll do is just work our way down. I've got some, let's go down to the fingerboard, to the new pickguard. I've got black screws now ready to go in. So let's try these out and see how well they're going to fit. Everything's always a little different. I'm just going to start them. Oh, and these will loose too, so I'm going to put maybe I'll put black screws in there also, but I got to put a piece of toothpick in there. See, that's kind of loose. Now that's not loose. That's going down just like it's supposed to. So let's take these guys. I'm going to go anywhere. That one's very tight. That one's just fine. The top one's just a little bit loose, but it's fine. Snug enough. The real job is being done down here. In a minute we'll put the pickguard screws in. Alright, now we're on the back side, and I'm going to take these screws out. I only put 2 in here originally, so let's take those off for a minute, and we'll see where we're going to get our best alignment. I want the holes here where the strings go in to line up with here, most importantly. So if we can find a screw hole, one anyway, that sets itself up for that, I'll start there and anchor it to that. Seems to be this one and this one. That lines us up fairly well. So let's take this and we'll put a new black screw in there. And just kind of secure it here for a minute. And then we'll stick another one up on the top corner where that seems to be, oops, coming into a genuine hole in that position. And then we'll take our little drill again and drill out the other 4 holes. Let's move this out of the way. Take a toothpick. Actually, let's break the end off. Make it a fatter piece to go in the hole. And then we'll just break it off at the end. Oops. Excuse me. We'll just tap that down flush. And now we'll take a screw. And put it into our newly filled hole. So this screw now will hold nice and tight. Put them right in the middle and drop it down. Not too deep. So we'll be back in a minute and we'll do the front side. So those are all done now. The screws are in there nice. I got a nice setup for the holes to be able to place the strings in here easy, you know, when it's time to restring each time. So that makes that job simple. All right, the pickguard. It came from Rock and Roll Guitars Limited. This guy Mike Riley in East Helena, Montana. And I paid $72 for it. And that's what it is. Rock and Guitar Stratocaster Squier Loaded Pickguard Pearl Blue. It was delivered fairly quickly. These guys seem to be doing a nice business with instructions about how to wire things up. See, I think it's going to work real well. I like it a lot so far. Haven't played it yet, but time will tell. So we did make an executive decision. We popped the white covers off, and we're going to go black. I got volume, tone controls. I used my magic spoon to pop them off with. Sorry I didn't show you. We'll get back to that next time. And right now what we're going to do is deal with the fretboard, the frets specifically. I'm going to sand them down. I got a sanding block. This I found works very well. I can do the edges and I can do the tops of the frets with this because it just makes contacts with the frets and it doesn't screw up the fretboard at all. So we just put a little bit of pressure on the sanding block and it cleans them all up nice and shiny. And we'll get down here close to the end, put a little weight on each side. We'll take a look. Seems to be doing pretty well. And then we'll just run up the sides. And that'll take the edges off any sharpness that'll be on the frets themselves. And this is a real fine grit sandpaper block. So it doesn't really hurt anything. Does a real nice job, I think. Lazy man's way to do an improvement. If I can find an easier, lazier way to get it done, that's what I'll do. So that shines them up pretty good. Now the next thing we'll do, because there's metal filings, is we'll get the little vacuum cleaner and we'll suck all that stuff up and keep it away from the pickup. Simple, straightforward, no nonsense. And then what I think I'll do, because the next thing we're going to do is do the inlays on the fretboard. So what I think I'll do is do another cleanup with lighter fluid. It'll get all that junk off and we'll get a cleaning of the fingerboard itself. We're going to do this kind of blue, but that's okay. And we'll get the pattern out. There's the pattern to follow. So here's the top. That's going to go up there because it's the top. And then we'll run that on down. I think if you've watched me do any guitars before, you know kind of how this works. There's a adhesive top, clear, that these things, you want them to stick to so that you can handle them and see them and not touch the adhesive on the other side as you're getting ready to lay these out. So let's start with the third one, because that's the first place we have to match up to get to a dot, you know. So if we lay that one down where it belongs, we'll get the other ones to fall in line, and then we'll just cut these up real close to the end of where they need to be. We'll cut that away, and we'll cut this real close on the other side. And then we can line these up and get these all so we know they're all going to work out well. You know, and getting the placement right. God, I love playing with guitars. I really enjoy this stuff. It's wicked good therapy. A lot of fun. Anyway, so let's take a closer look here, and I'll show you the first couple. We'll do these three here together, and then I'll finish it up and show you how it come out. So we want to peel this up, and you really want to pull the cardboard away from the backing rather than the other way around. Because if you lift it with the if you lift it from the front with the clear plastic, you tend sometimes to lift it away from the backing. You want to peel this part away, and then it will sit down or come apart correctly. Where's my magic light? Let's throw some light up here. We can all see better. So that's how that's going to go. Nice. And then we'll peel this one apart. Did I get that lined up good? Hold on a second. I want to review. May change this. Not quite happy with where it's sitting. And I didn't lead on it hard yet. That one's staying where it is. I just want this to line up with the bottom of that a little bit better. And then we'll throw this one on the top. I don't want to get too close to the fret. And I got to come over a little bit. That's pretty good. So then we'll rub these down. And then the Alice pick. The Alice pick is a fairly stiff pick. It's probably a medium. But it's a nice weight to be able to rub these into the fretboard and get them to stick. And then what you do is to kind of carefully peel this up and pull it straight over so that you leave the decal on the fingerboard without tending to pull it up. If you lift it up, you'll tend to lift the, you got a bigger chance of lifting the decal with you when you come off. So there's that one. That's two. And like I said, we'll just peel it straight back. And then just notice as you're coming across, if you're lifting, if you are, just put it back down again. And rub it again with the pick if you need to. And there you go. So that's the first three of the fingerboard inlays for our new Squier. Actually, it's our old Squier that's getting kind of a makeover. Well, that's exactly what we're doing is a makeover here. So that's the first three. Well, there's the fingerboard all done now, from top to bottom. I think that looks very nice. We just got to peel away a few of the backings here. And then we'll run them over with the Alice and smooth everything down nice and tight. I think that's all the backings. We'll hit these with Alice and get them all nice and smooth so that they're gripping that fingerboard as tightly as they can. I don't have any dressing on the fingerboard, so they should stick well. The fingerboard is in very good condition. I'm really surprised for the age of this guitar. But it's perfect. It's very good. It's very good. So that's that. And then we're going to go with the black knobs, like I mentioned. So we'll spin everything around to the left. We'll find volume and line it up straight off. Now, one of the other things we're going to do is to replace the ever-thrilling buttons down the end here. All right, now that's good and solid. And then we'll do the same thing up the top here. So I'll get the other one in and we'll be right back. Well, now we're nearing completion. Okay, we added one more decal here to the side of the guitar I thought was cute. There's the fretboard, little black trees, the beloved black guitar strap holders, one on each end. I know they're a favorite of the crowd being me. So we haven't got a lot more to do here. We got to string it up and set it up, and we'll do that tomorrow. It's late now, it's 9:30. We've been working and loafing and goofing and playing this game for quite a while. Time to crash for a while. We'll start again tomorrow. All right, so we're coming to the end of this exciting project for me, and last thing we're going to do is add some strings. I've never used these before. They're half rounds, 9 to 42 Diodario. So we're going to try these out and see how they are and what they play like, and we'll get around to that next. So let's take a look at these guys and see what's up on its back and pass these through. Through the mercy of a hard decided. All right, we'll come back in a second and we'll string them all up. And that'll be it. We'll tune it up, we'll set it up, make sure everything's in place and that the string heights are good and all. But they shouldn't have changed from before. Should be good. Hang on. All right, so now we've got all the strings on it. I didn't break that one again now. I'm going to put the B back on. B, E. So it looks like the action is good. Okay, I don't hear any funny sounds. I don't think I have any buzz. So the next thing we'll do, because we haven't really played this yet as an electric guitar. So this is the finished deal as it is right there right now. Okay, I think it come out pretty good. I think this looks really great. I'm going to trim off the strings and then we'll take it over and play it. All right, I just snuck this over and played it. This guitar plays beautiful. This, and it's the magic. The guitar is nice. The action is really good, nice and low. The half round strings feel very nice. But this new pickguard, this preloaded pickguard, is absolutely marvelous. What terrific sound it produces. I've never had anything like it. I think it's the best set of pickups I've ever had. These guys who made this, where the heck were they from? East Helena, Montana. This rock and roll guitars. Great. Remember that name. You go looking for pickup for pickguards all set up. Boy, and it's so simple to install, and the sound is terrific. This has some, what do you call them, the orange drops added in there. We'll go back and look at it. It's too bad I didn't take a good picture of this from the back before I put it in. I think I've got some in the video, but this is fantastic. It was 65 bucks for this thing, $7 for shipping. I got it inside of a week, and it's terrific. Thank you, Mike Riley at Rock and Roll Guitars LLC on Reverb. Okay, that's where we got this through, Reverb, not eBay. But it's colossal. Really sounds nice. I forgot to set the pickup height, so that's why I came back over the bench and didn't play it yet. So I'm going to do that right now. And you can watch if you want to, or if you get bored, you can turn me off. I can live through it. Okay, but this shouldn't take too long. I need my little screwdriver, and I need my feeler gauges. These are from Stuart Mac, and I was told about these by Dave. Dave's World of Fun Stuff. Yeah, see, this is too close. All these are too close. That one's not. That one's too far away. So I gotta run these guys down, and I think if I turn this backwards, they'll go down. And this one's gotta go down. And this is a brass instrument, so it's not magnetic. So it doesn't get screwed up by the magnetic pickup. All right, so those are just about right. So let's go to the treble side with the neck size down on the gauge. And we'll put a little finger down here, and we'll give it a tug, and that's too close. That's too close, and that's too close. So we need to back these guys down a bit. But it has a combination switch here that allows you to add in one of these extra pickups when you're in a different position. You know, when you're in the, like if you're down in the 5th position here, it plays this one and it'll play that one, the neck pickup also at the same time. So you can mix and match kind of which pickups you're playing from to suit yourself. Jesus, what a nice setup. Those are just a little bit high still. Give them a little tweak downward so that they'll be at the right height according to Hoyle. According to how they play is another way. That's good, that's good, that's good. We'll double check the bass side again. Okay, that's good. That's good enough for government work. And I got my new lightning strike guitar strap on there, and it's very appropriate for this guitar, although the color is really purple, not blue. We may do something with that because we like things to match. And we got the blue snark to match the color scheme, so when I tune this, it'll tune to blue. What bullshit. So anyway, what we're going to do is go play this guitar again. Meet you over there. So now here we are with the Squier Strat. New, improved, preloaded pickguard we swapped out. We done all the inlays. We got the blue tuner on. We got the black string ties. We got the black strap holders. And we got the lightning belt. So let's turn this sucker on. We'll plug it in. And you can tell it's plugged in because it was screaming, making a lot of noise. But I really am impressed with this pickguard. Got this up on the boom right now. Let's just tune up. Make sure we're good. It's all in tune. If I flip the switch the other way, it's the front and the back. Neck of the grid. So you go from real mellow. Well, that's very shallow. Better guitar player. This thing plays really nice. The action is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This guitar is a 2004 Squier Stratocaster Affinity. The pickups were kind of blah, so I decided to get the new set. And I can't solder worth a damn. But when you change the whole pickguard that's preloaded, you only got to solder 3 wires. It's very simple. 2 to the jack, 1 to the grounding plate in the back, and you're in business. And even I'm not too stupid to screw that up. So it come out really, really, really wicked nice. Great guitar. Great makeover. Absolutely great makeover. One of my favorites I think I've done ever. I think you can see it looks really nice. The fingerboard come out nice. I like it a lot. Does it show? So we'll see you around the factory. There it is. Beautiful, 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 and plays like a dream. Great guitar. Now it's a legend.